What happened to Novak Djokovic in the final of the Miami Masters 1000? The Serbian, six-time champion of the tournament, was seeking his 100th title on the circuit, but an unexpected defeat against the young Czech Jakub Mensik prevented him from reaching the historic milestone. However, beyond the result, what caught the most attention was a strange inflammation in his right eye that sparked speculation. Was it just a minor discomfort, or did it really affect his performance? Today, we analyze the surprising Miami final, Djokovic's injury, and the rise of a new tennis star. Novak Djokovic arrived at the final aiming to secure his 100th ATP title, a milestone that only a few have achieved in tennis history. However, from the pre-match training sessions, something drew attention. The Serbian had a visibly swollen and reddened right eye. Although he tried to conceal it with sunglasses, cameras captured images that raised alarms. During warm-ups, he was seen applying eye drops multiple times, an unusual gesture in his routine. Doubts arose immediately: was it an allergy, an infection, or even a blow? Despite this uncertainty, Djokovic stepped onto the court determined to compete at the highest level. Opposite him was Jakub Mensik, a 19-year-old playing just his second ATP final. From the start, the Czech displayed surprising maturity and remained solid in exchanges. Djokovic, for his part, played with his characteristic steady baseline game, but at times he seemed uncomfortable. Although he did not show obvious signs of pain or vision problems, certain key points raised doubts about whether the inflammation was affecting his performance. The match was close from start to finish, with no breaks in either set. Both sets were decided in tiebreaks, where Mensik took better advantage of his opportunities. With great concentration, the Czech knew how to close out the important moments, while Djokovic, on some occasions, seemed to react late to deep shots. However, the Serbian avoided making excuses. In the post-match press conference, he made it clear that he did not want to take away from his opponent's merit. "I prefer not to talk about certain things. Mensik deserved to win," he said sportingly. Beyond the result, Djokovic's injury remained a mystery. There was no official statement from his team explaining the origin of the problem. Some analysts pointed out that the inflammation might have started days earlier, as in his semi-final match against Grigor Dimitrov. A slight swelling under his right eye was already noticeable. However, it is uncertain whether it was a progressive issue or something that appeared suddenly before the final. Despite the defeat, Djokovic left Miami with a positive outlook. After a season start with ups and downs, the Serbian managed to reach an important final and showed glimpses of his best level. "I feel bitter about losing, but happy to have regained good sensations," he declared. At 37 years old, his ambition remains intact, and his pursuit of the 100th title will continue in upcoming tournaments. Meanwhile, the uncertainty about his physical condition remains, and it will be necessary to wait and see if his eye recovers without issues before his next competition. On the other hand, Jakub Mensik became the main protagonist of the final. With his victory in Miami, he became the second youngest champion in the tournament's history, only behind Carlos Alcaraz. Mensik, currently ranked 54th in the world, secured his first ATP title in a final where he demonstrated great composure and maturity to face an opponent of Djokovic's caliber. "I was very nervous, but I managed to stay focused," the young tennis player said after his triumph. Mensik's victory also marked a milestone for Czech tennis. Since Tomáš Berdych in 2005, no player from his country had won a Masters 1000 title. With this triumph, Mensik not only claimed his first trophy but also positioned himself as one of the great promises on the circuit. His performance in Miami made it clear that he has the talent and mindset to compete against the best. Now, the big question is whether he can maintain this level and continue climbing the ATP rankings. Beyond Mensik's success, the Miami tournament also left an unusual image with Djokovic's injury. Although the Serbian tried to downplay it, the swelling in his eye continues to raise questions. Was it just an isolated incident or a problem that could affect his performance in upcoming tournaments? For now, there are no clear answers, but one thing is certain: the image of the Serbian with a swollen eye will remain one of the most striking snapshots of this edition of the tournament. The 2025 Miami Masters 1000 left many stories to remember. On one hand, the surprising triumph of Jakub Mensik, a 19-year-old who claimed his first major title against one of the greatest players in history. On the other, Novak Djokovic's strange injury, which, although it did not prevent him from competing, left many doubts about its origin and possible impact on the match. However, the Serbian once again showed his greatness by not making excuses and acknowledging his rival's merit. With this result, Mensik joins the list of young talents looking to challenge the greats of the circuit. Meanwhile, Djokovic will have to keep fighting for his 100th title, a goal that remains within his reach. What is clear is that tennis continues to provide us with exciting stories, and this Miami final was proof of that. Jakub Mensik achieved the biggest victory of his career by defeating Novak Djokovic in the final of the Miami Masters 1000. However, this historic triumph did not come without a cost. After the extreme physical effort required by the tournament, the young Czech has made a tough decision, withdrawing from the Monte Carlo Masters 1000 to recover. How much did Mensik endure in Miami? How does he plan to tackle the clay court season after his great success? Today, we analyze the consequences of the greatest achievement in the Czech's career and his immediate future on the circuit. Jakub Mensik shocked the tennis world with his brilliant performance at the Miami Open, where, against all odds, he defeated Novak Djokovic in the final. However, his path to the title was not easy. From the start of the tournament, the Czech dealt with physical discomfort that even put his participation in doubt. Despite this, he decided to push forward and, with great determination, ended up taking the trophy. But now, the effort has taken its toll, forcing him to withdraw from the Monte Carlo Masters 1000 to fully recover. Mensik made the decision to prioritize his physical well-being and better prepare for the clay court season. His body needed rest after a week of extreme exertion, in which he had to play several high-intensity matches. In the final against Djokovic, the Czech showed remarkable mental resilience but admitted that fatigue was a key factor. There was a lot of humidity, and I felt a great strain in many phases of the match, he confessed after his victory. Now, with Monte Carlo ruled out, his next goal will be the ATP tournament in Munich, where he will look to continue adding good results to his season. Despite his youth, Mensik has demonstrated a very mature mindset. He knows that winning a Masters 1000 is just the beginning and that he must keep working hard to establish himself among the elite of world tennis. This is the greatest success of my career, but I know I can't stop here. I want to keep improving and winning more trophies like this, he stated with determination. His approach shows that he is not satisfied with just this triumph and that his ambition goes far beyond a single tournament. However, Mensik also understands the importance of taking care of his body and allowing himself the necessary time to recover before facing new challenges. In the professional circuit, where the physical and mental demands are extreme, knowing how to balance effort and rest is crucial to maintaining a high level of performance. The young Czech player is aware that success is not just about talent but also about discipline, preparation, and smart career management. Mensik has shown an exceptional ability to handle pressure and stay focused on his goals. His attitude reflects the mindset of a player with aspirations to reach the very top, one who is not dazzled by a single achievement but keeps his eyes firmly set on the future. As he continues to develop and gain experience in the most important tournaments, he has the potential to establish himself as one of the great figures in tennis in the coming years. What do you think of Mensik's decision to withdraw from Monte Carlo? Do you believe his victory in Miami was just a stroke of luck, or does he have the potential to become a stable figure on the circuit? Leave your opinion in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on all the latest tennis news. See you in the next video.